going to look at situations where those can be used today. So you might have noticed from your handout, we are going to look at word problems. This is not just a one-day thing. Okay, I'm not just going to throw this at you and move on. I know that historically, word problems are probably not your favorite thing. Seems like everybody really dislikes them for some unknown reason. Because they have words. We live with words. So we are going to spend all week on this section and practicing this stuff. Okay? All week. So, couple things on these problems. You have to identify your variable. If you write an equation with x, but you don't tell me what x is, I don't care if you get the right answer at the end, you automatically lose a point. I have to know what your variable stands for. Likewise, if you do nothing right in the problem, but you write down what x is, you get a point. Okay, so easy point, tell me what your variable is every single time. Second thing, we cannot solve equations with multiple variables in it. So if there's more than one thing we don't know, everything has to be in terms of the same variable. I can't have x, y, and z all in one equation. I need only x's. So if there's multiple things we don't know, we have to write them in terms of one variable. Third step is set up a model. That's like writing your equation. Okay, so we have to look at the problem, see what we're talking about, so we know how to write that equation. Then we will solve it, checking to make sure that our answer is reasonable. And final thing, you have to write a sentence at the end. If I give you a problem in words, I want you to answer it in words. So even if you get nothing else right, you could get 2 points on every single problem by identifying your variables and writing a sentence at the end. Okay, those are easy points. There are also things that you will miss. I don't care if you have the right answer. If you can't tell me what you found, you won't get credit. So make sure you are not trying to shortcut these problems. All right, so let's take a look at one. If the length of each side of a square is decreased by 6 centimeters, the perimeter of the original square is 8 less than 3 times the perimeter of the new square. What's the length of a side in the new square? Does that make any sense to you when I just read it like that? No. That's the first mistake people make. They see a word problem, they just read the whole thing as fast as they can, they get to the end and say, I have no idea. So let's slow down. If the length of each side of a square, stop. What could I do? Draw a square. Okay. So I have my square. Did I give you any information about that to start with? No. We have this square. Then I know I am going to decrease each side by 6. What does that mean? We're going to subtract. Do I know how big the sides were to start with? No, so what could I call that? Okay, let's just start with the original is x. That counts as defining your variable. I label it in my picture. I know x is how long the side was to start with. And then what happened to my square? It got smaller, so I'm going to draw a second one. And each side was decreased by 6. How long are those sides? Because it's a square, we know all the sides are the same. All right, that's defining my variable. Step 2, everything's in terms of that variable. I didn't call the new square y, I called it x minus 6. Okay. So then, it tells me the perimeter of the original square. What is perimeter? Add all the sides. Which square am I doing that for? The original. Okay. If I add all those, you could write x plus x plus x plus x, or we could say there are 4 sides. I know they're the same, so that would be 4x. So the perimeter of the original square is, in an equation, what does the word is means? Equals. 8 less than, what does less than mean? Subtract. And that's one of those words. Does it mean 8 minus or minus 8? Less than is a turnaround word. It puts the minus 8 at the end. So less than, 8 less than means we have to subtract 8. Okay. So then it says it's 8 less than 3 times the perimeter of the new square. So 3 times, okay, what's the perimeter of the new square?
X minus 6.
That's the whole perimeter?
Nope, weird.
Not to the 4th, but times 4, right? Perimeter, you have to add all those sides. So if I add them all, there are 4 identical sides. Okay, so I already identified my variable, everything in terms of that variable. I wrote my equation. Now we just have to solve it. So we have 4x equals 3 times, this would be 4x minus 24. If I distribute my 3, we get 12x minus 72 minus 8. X is negative 80, divided by negative 8, so x is 10. Okay. Does 10 seem like a reasonable answer?
It is.
Yes. What if I had gotten like 4?
Probably not.
Probably not. Why? Because 4 would be the side of the original side. Could you subtract 6 from that? No. So you have to make sure your answer makes sense. Then we have to answer the question that was asked. We want the length of a side in the new square. So we have to write a sentence. The new square has sides. Okay, the new one, that's x minus 6, so 10 minus 6 is 4. We were in centimeters. So the new
We have to do that for every question.
write a sentence? Yes. What questions do you guys have on that? So don't try to just look at the problem and know the answer. Take it step by step. If you slow down, take it one line at a time, then you will be much more successful as you work through these. Let's take a look at another. A rental car company charges $20 per day and 30 cents per mile for renting a car. Janice rents a car for 3 days and her bill comes to $72. How many miles did she drive? Am I going to write or draw a picture for this one? Probably not. What am I trying to find? Okay, so that's going to be my variable. Since I can't label it in a picture, I'm just going to say in words. X is the number of miles. Okay, is there anything else we don't know in this? No, so we only have one unknown, no others to worry about, so we are going to write an equation. They charge $20 per day. And she rents it for 3 days. So what would we do? 20 times 3. And, so plus 30 cents per mile. And X is my number of miles. Okay. Almost. What do I need to fix? Equals 72. Because the 20 was dollars for the 30 cents, we have to do 0.30. All right. All right, and then we have to write a sentence. I want to know how far she drove. So Janice drove, bless you, 40 miles. You have to tell me what X is at the beginning. If you don't, you lose a point. You have to write a sentence at the end to answer the question. I want you guys to read the next problem and just see if you can draw a picture. You don't have to try to write the equation yet. I want you to read it, try. So everyone started off good. Al paints with watercolors on a strip of paper 20 inches wide by 15 inches high. So I saw a lot of rectangles. We know it's 20 by 15. He then places this sheet on a mat so that a uniformly wide strip of the mat shows all around the picture. What that means is I'm going to take my little piece of paper and I'm going to put a mat behind it. Okay, so that is a bigger rectangle that's going behind it so that I have the same amount of border showing on every side. So, I'll draw another rectangle. Okay. I just said a uniformly wide strip, so I don't know how wide. So what could I call this amount showing on each side? X, that's the thing we don't know. The perimeter of the mat is 102 inches. Perimeter, we know we add up all the sides. But that's for the mat, the big rectangle. So we have to figure out what our length and width are. So let me ask you a question. How far is it from here to here? We don't know that. What's it labeled in our picture? What's that distance? X. How far is it from here to here? 20. How far is it from here to here? So altogether, how long is that side? 20. Would you multiply those? Add them. And there's 2 of them. 20 plus 2x. You're just adding these together to get your total side length. Okay, let's look at this one. How far is it from here to here? What about from here to here? And from here to here. So, all together, what would I do with those numbers? 16 plus 2x, because we're adding them. Okay. So now I want the perimeter of the mat. How do we get perimeter? Add everything together. This side would also be 20 plus 2x. We know in a rectangle, opposite sides are the same. So you could list all 4 of those out, or you could say I have 2 of these, so 2 times the 20 plus 2x. I have 2 of these, so 2 times the 15 plus 2x. Equals 102, our perimeter.
Hey, I was close. I said X was fine.
But you were wrong.
I was letting it get you away. Come on, man. That's a pretty good estimated guess.
Okay, what should I do?
The width of the strip of the mat is 4 inches around the picture.
Okay. Let's. I'm going to add in a problem because I'm not confident.
We already got 14.
I'm not, so prove me wrong. You guys get this one right, and then I'll move on.
Move on to the next 14.
Okay, let's say. You can do it in your notebook if you want. You have to write it down.
Oh my gosh, you're right on the word.
So far, we have a triangle. You're right. I didn't tell you if it's a right triangle or not. We don't need that information. I said the longest side is twice its shortest. Do you know how long its shortest side is? So what would you call that?
X.
And then if the longest side is twice that, we would call that?
2x.
Okay. The middle side, so that's got to be my third one, is 3 less than the longest. What was my longest side? So 3 less than that would be? How do you find perimeter? Add our sides. So we have x plus the 2x plus the 2x minus 3 equals 37. We add our 3, 5x equals 40. So x is 8. The question asks for the length of each side. So the sides are, did I give you units on this? No, so we couldn't put units on our answer. So one of them is 8. The other one is 2x, which would be 16. And the last one, 2x minus 3, 13. Thank you. Appreciate the faith. All right. Question 2. Okay. I'm going to take a break. I might come back and do another example. There's a handout posted. You are not doing the whole thing. For tonight, you are doing 1 through 4. Remember, always define your variables, whether that's telling me in words or drawing a picture and labeling them. And on every question, you have to write a sentence. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys start this. I might do another